Softball, thank you for allowing us to work with you. I have my helpers here, Michaela and Sam, and we're going to go through some corrective exercises with you all. So we appreciate you coming, doing the physical screen and the hitting screen. There are a couple of things that we found common across the board. So when we tried to measure thoracic and pelvic rotation, we saw challenges there with separating the body. And so that piece is very important because that coil, if you're able to coil, you're able to generate power. It also affects your sequencing when you hit. And so when we talk about sequencing, we want hips going first, thorax, followed by your lead arm. But if you're unable to activate your pelvis and start that motion, you get out of sync. And so in our 3D capture, we did notice that most of you all, when you were hitting, you were out of sync. And most of the times you actually started forward with your arms before you did with your hips. And when I say that, you did have a lateral shift of the hips, but we didn't see the rotation of the hips until later on. And so our exercises here are really going to focus on engaging those hip muscles, improving your hip and pelvis mobility. We're also going to work on shoulders. We have a cool little exercise we're going to do to help improve your shoulder range of motion, which can also impact your hitting as well as throwing. All right, the first thing we're going to work on is your pelvic tilt in the quadruped position. And so similar to the motion we did standing up, you're going to start with arching your back and then flattening your back. All right, arch and then flat. Keep going, get down, hold it for maybe 2-3 seconds, really pull up, and then down. And I really want you to feel that motion of you arching your back, or flattening your back, and then arching your back. One more time, and then down. I want you doing that for 60 seconds. Next move, we're going to continue focusing on the pelvic tilt, but we're going to do it in the on your back. And so that same pelvic tilt motion, go ahead. And we want you to arch, and then we want you to flatten. All right, it's a very small movement when laying on your back, but you're doing that pelvic tilt. We're removing elements of gravity to make it a little bit easier, but the goal is for you to engage those pelvic floor muscles, those core muscles, and to get that movement. A modification you can do is get a towel, put it right under the low back there. So if you need a little feedback, this is good. So go ahead. So you're gonna arch, and then when you flatten, you should feel yourself flattening that towel, and maybe even slightly coming off the table just a little bit. And just kind of keep doing that motion. We're engaging those pelvic floor muscles, those core muscles, and this will help generate power when you swing and when you throw. This next one is called the step out or step back. So you're gonna have a bat up over your head, and what you're gonna do is keep your upper body still and take a step back with one foot, and you should feel a nice little stretch on that side hip when you step back. Again, this is a test or a corrective exercise to help with the disassociation of the lower body from the upper body. And so when you step back, you should feel a nice little stretch right in there. And a habit that can happen when you do this, so we want this nice and parallel. But see how her shoulders are turning slightly when she does that? You also want to keep the shoulders square to the front. So try that again and keep your shoulders square to the front. Right, so the shoulders square with the back. Nice little step back there. Feel a good little stretch, and you can adjust your step to whatever fits your stride, your leg length. You feel a nice little twist turn there. And what we're doing is we're training the lower body to separate from the upper body and vice versa. Excellent. All right, so again, we're going to work on pelvic rotation, working on disassociation of the lower body from the upper body. These are called supported stork turns. And so we're using a golf club there. If you have a PVC pole, you can even a bar, just an edge where you're holding yourself up to help you balance. And so we're going to start on one foot because we're also going to be working on balance. And what she's going to do is rotate her knee back and forth. And the key thing is you can see she's crossing the line to the other side. And she's keeping her upper body still. Her head is up. Make sure you're not looking down on this one because we're also working on balance. And what we're doing is working on disassociation of that lower body from the upper body. Some people will have a tendency to flare that knee out. You don't have to go that far out. The goal is to get it across and come back maybe about 45 degrees to that opposite side. Go ahead and try the other leg. Again, working on balance, cross over. Those shoulders are nice and square. And the hips are disassociating from the upper body. So we're working on pelvic rotation, creating a coil, being able to generate power. All right, this next one is thoracic rotation. And again, we're working on separating the upper body from the lower body from the upper body. Most of you, when you did this test, you had pretty good thoracic rotation. But again, the goal of this test is for you to feel your upper body separating from the lower body. So Sam is going to rotate to one side, and when she gets to a point to where she can't go anymore, she's going to lean towards the side that she rotated to for about 6 seconds. She's going to come back up, and then she's going to rotate a little further. All right, so you can see she's able to go a little further each time, and then you just go to the point to where you can't rotate anymore. And then take it to the other side, and again, try to hold for at least 6 seconds or so. 3 at a minimum, but 6 is ideal. So rotating, she can't go anymore, leaning to that one side. This is what we call a PNF stretch, a proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. So basically you stretch, you tense the muscles, and after the muscles relax, you're able to stretch a little bit more, all right? So again, this exercise is great for separating the upper body from the lower body, improving that thoracic rotation. Do it about 3 times each side. All right, this next exercise is to improve shoulder stability as well as flexibility. And so what we're going to do is put one hand in front, one hand thumbs down, and you're going to grasp your fingers together. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pull first, try to pull apart, then push, pull, and then push, all right? Now while continuing to push, you're going to make big circles going forward. And just go to the point to where your shoulders don't hurt. Some of you, this may bother you, and just kind of shorten the circles. So you can do that about 5 times, and then take it back the other way. Now with those hands still, are we pulling apart or pushing? I forgot.
Pushing.
We're still pushing. We're gonna go side to side, all right? Side to side, anywhere between about 5 and 10 times to loosen up those shoulders. Now still pushing together, let's see you swim. Yeah, nice swimming motion. I'll take it backwards. Really feel that movement in the shoulders. Come back to neutral, and you're gonna pull, you're gonna push, and now you're gonna pull and keep pulling. Now we're gonna repeat that same thing again, circles. Again, the range of motion that feels best for you, that doesn't cause discomfort. Take it back the other way. If doing any of these exercises cause discomfort, don't do them and let us know it hurts. All right, so back to neutral. Side to side, keep pulling, keep pulling. Should feel a little burn in those shoulders about now. This is a great warm-up that you can do before you get out there and play. Now swim with it, still pulling, and then take it back the other way. Nice. Take it back to neutral, in with the push, in with the pull, in with the push. All right, and kind of loosen up those shoulders afterwards. This is a great exercise created by Tom House, one of the baseball gurus. The last thing we're gonna have you do is hand strengthening. So as our gift to you, we're gonna give you all some tennis balls, all right? This is a great way to strengthen your hands. Remember, we did the hand dynamometer to test your grip strength. And so across the board, we're gonna need to improve our grip strength. And when we say grip strength, we're not just talking about the muscles in the hand, but we're also talking about the muscles in the forearm area. And again, if we want to generate power, we want power coming from all body parts there. So what you're going to do is just with the ball, 5 minutes, 5 times a day, you're just going to work it in your hand. So pretend it's like some pizza dough or bread dough and you're kneading it in your hand. You're gonna give that thumb, see how she has the thumb not really too involved. We really want to get those other fingers involved as well. You can throw the thumb in there every so often, and you can do 1 finger, 2 fingers at a time, 3 fingers, really kind of mix it up. But what we really want you to do is working those muscles. Now, currently she has her hand in a supinated position, and I'm gonna have her rotated about 45 degrees, and now she's in a neutral position, actually 90 degrees, excuse me. And then again, she's gonna work those fingers, squeezing that tennis ball. Right now, they're very firm. By the end of the semester, they should be softened up a little bit. Then we're gonna rotate another 90 degrees. And so what we're doing is we're putting those forearm muscles in a different plane and working on strengthening. And so in some planes, you may feel the outer muscles working a little bit more, whereas in another plane, you'll feel the top muscles or inner muscles working a little bit more. So 5 minutes, 5 times a day, really work that ball, kind of getting your fingers all around that ball. Good. Excellent. All right, well, those are your exercises to start with, and these will be the foundation of our corrective exercises pretty much for the year. Every week, every 2 weeks, we'll actually add an additional exercise on for you. And then once we finish with the evaluations, we may give you specific exercises as well. But we know that these exercises will benefit our hitters, our pitchers, and everyone across the board. So thanks again for allowing us to work with you, and go Cardinals.